You said we were going to a place Walt Disney built.
No, Peter, I said supported.
Rachel Zegler just snapped. And this time, it's all because of Family Guy? Yep, the hit cartoon took a brutal shot at Disney's Snow White remake, and Rachel, who plays Snow White, did not take it lightly. The joke was savage, the reaction was louder, and now the internet is on fire. But why do you think Family Guy goes after Disney's Snow White in the first place? Was the roast really that bad, or is Rachel just done with all the hate? Let's find out.
By the way, don't go on the train ride.
Comrade Mauskowitz, did you think you could run forever?
Let's talk about how far Family Guy went this time, because this didn't feel like random jokes anymore. This felt personal. It starts with a scene where Peter Griffin walks up to a young girl. She's got big eyes and a sarcastic little smirk. Honestly, she looks uncannily like Rachel Zegler. And in true Peter fashion, he doesn't hold back. He points at her and says, "I don't care what color your belt is. You're a child and I'm stronger than you."
I don't care what color your belt is. You're a child, and I am stronger than you.
And then, no hesitation, he just decks her. Like full-on punches this kid so hard she goes flying across the screen. Laughter from the audience. Just another day in Quahog, right? But not normal for Rachel Zegler, of course.
He was a loser then, and he's a loser now. Oh, we used to kid this guy all the time.
When that scene started circling TikTok again, people couldn't ignore it. The clip was being reposted with captions like, "Family Guy writers after hearing Rachel Zegler say she doesn't need a prince." Suddenly, this wasn't just a cartoon gag, it was a viral takedown of Rachel's whole Snow White image. The joke became a metaphor. Peter wasn't just hitting a cartoon kid, he was clapping back at every Gen Z, Disneyfied, politically correct princess Hollywood was trying to push on audiences.
Hi, Peter Griffin, Meg's father. Say, can you do me a favor? You see that fire extinguisher there?
Dad, that's enough! Dad, that's enough! That's enough!
Peter gestures towards a girl claiming to be Snow White and coldly delivers the punchline. Beat the shit out of this girl who claimed to be Snow White. Like, what? That's not even a joke. That's just brutal. And here's the shocking thing. The timing of this scene airing online perfectly lined up with the backlash Rachel Zegler was already facing. People were accusing her of being too woke, too smug, and disrespecting Disney legacy characters, after old interviews resurfaced where she said Snow White was outdated, didn't need a man, and would be a leader instead of a dreamer. So now Family Guy, intentionally or not, handed the internet exactly what it wanted. A cartoon punching bag. A character that looked like Rachel getting humiliated on screen in front of millions. And just like that, the show didn't even have to name her. They just let the audience do the connecting, because that's what Family Guy does best. They don't need to say it outright. They'll show a dark-haired Snow White girl getting roasted and the audience will fill in the blanks. It's their signature move, a cruel comedy hidden behind cartoon absurdity. That's how they've survived over 20 seasons. No accountability, just satire with plausible deniability. But in this case, the crowd wasn't confused. Social media users, especially the ones who already had beef with Rachel, started stitching the clips into videos titled "Family Guy Destroys Rachel Zegler," or "This is how America feels about Snow White now." And if you zoom out, it actually tracks. Rachel Zegler, once a rising star in West Side Story, got caught in a cultural hurricane. One minute she's cast as Snow White, the next she's labeled as entitled, too political, and disrespectful to the legacy. She said she didn't like the original film, didn't vibe with the romance angle, and wanted to reimagine the princess in a modern, powerful light. But Hollywood's PR machine couldn't keep up, and instead of applause, Rachel got memes. Memes that accused her of being anti-fairy tale, anti-fun, and ultimately anti-audience. And that's when Family Guy stepped in with their signature middle finger. Instead of being subtle, they showed a Snow White stand-in getting straight up assaulted on screen. Jokes about beating her, mocking her, physically humiliating her under the excuse of comedy. It wasn't just edgy, it was savage. And whether intentional or not, the audience took it as confirmation. Yeah, even Family Guy thinks Rachel's a joke. So when that fire extinguisher line dropped, the message was loud and clear. The writers were done playing nice. They turned the reboot backlash into cartoon carnage. And just when you thought it couldn't get more obvious, Peter dropped another jab that felt way too on the nose to be innocent. Now, before we move on, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button because what's coming next will shock you.
I guess I'm always just gonna be one of those guys who throws like a girl.
You wish you...
On the surface, standard Family Guy humor, mocking outdated stereotypes, right? But in context, this hit was different. The way he says it, the way the animation lingers, the tone, it all felt like a loaded insult. Especially considering what had been circulating online. People immediately started stitching this line onto Rachel's clips from the Snowwhite press tour, where she's talking about leadership, strength, and flipping the fairy tale on its head. Suddenly, that throws like a girl line wasn't about Peter. It was about her. Viewers interpreted it as Family Guy's way of calling her weak, fake tough, or trying too hard to be powerful but still missing the mark. And remember, this is a show that thrives on weaponized vagueness. They don't need to put Rachel Zegler in the subtitles for fans to catch the drift. They just let the tone do the talking and the audience does the rest. By now, Rachel had become more than just a trending name. She was the face of a culture war she probably never asked to be in. And Family Guy? They threw gasoline on it and lit a match. Using punchlines, fists, and now even a throwaway line about being like a girl, they turned the entire Snow White reboot into a national punchline. And the worst part? No one was stepping in to stop it. No one was saying, hey, maybe we've gone too far. Because, let's be honest, this wasn't just comedy anymore. This was a cartoon show turning a 22-year-old actress into public enemy number one brutal joke at a time. Just when the heat was rising, Family Guy brought out its secret weapon, Stewie Griffin. The baby genius with a vocabulary sharper than most adults and a history of taking shots at everyone from pop stars to presidents. And this time, he wasn't holding back either.
Well, that'll be even cooler than when I was in that remake of The Princess Bride with Bill Cosby.
On its own, it might sound like a random joke. Now, if you read between the lines, this wasn't about The Princess Bride. That was a jab at every other overhyped, poorly received remake flooding Hollywood. And more importantly, the actors driving them. Actors like Rachel Zegler. It wasn't even subtle anymore. Viewers instantly tied Stewie's passive-aggressive whine to the Snow White fiasco. The timing, the delivery, the bitterness, it all sounded like he was mocking all these remakes that claimed to be modern or revolutionary, but instead just piss off royal fans. And in the middle of that cultural dumpster fire sat Rachel, the actress who told millions of Disney fans she didn't even like the original Snow White. Let's pause there, because that quote, it wasn't taken out of context. Rachel really said it. In multiple interviews, she admitted that she never connected with the 1937 classic. She said the original story was weird, outdated, and didn't reflect what women should be anymore. And she doubled down by saying the new version would be about leadership, not love, not dreams, not happily ever afters. It wasn't that she wanted to update Snow White, it was like she wanted to replace her completely. And for fans, especially longtime Disney loyalists, that was the last straw. The backlash wasn't just because she changed the character, it was because she trashed the original one on the way out. To a lot of people, it felt like Rachel didn't just want to act in the new Snow White. She wanted to bury the old one, rewrite the legacy, erase what made the original iconic in the first place. So Family Guy knows exactly how to roast without using names. Let us know your views in the comments below, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want another juicy controversy.